Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to another video, and today we have week 4 of building Dantooine in Lego. So right off the bat, I want to say that I am very happy with what we were able to accomplish this week. Now, if you remember last week, I set a goal of completing the terrain for this week, and I'm very excited to show you guys the results. Now, of course, it's not 100% complete, but as you can see, I have done quite a significant amount of progress. Now, there is a lot to show this week, so I don't want to ramble on for too much longer, but of course, what you guys can see before you is a few new minifigures. So that's also going to be a main focus of this week. I'm going to show you guys a haul that I was able to get in, and without further ado, let's start with that. So here is just a quick look at the Bricklink order that I was able to get in this week. In here we have a total of 26 minifigures, and these are all going to be the old style Phase 2 clone troopers. And if I do say so myself, they do look pretty cool. Now in here we have 9 of the 327th or Star Corps troopers, and then we have 12 regular troopers, and at the back here I have 5 of these clone pilots. Now of course these will be all used throughout the mock to populate all of the rooms and vehicles, but without further ado, let's jump into the actual mock and show you what progress I've been able to get done this week. Okay, we'll start off this week with the inside of the base, and then we'll move on to the exterior later on in the video so that you guys could see where the majority of the progress was able to get done. Now, of course, this wasn't a main focus for this week, but I did try and get as much done as I could on the inside of the base, and so far I think it's looking pretty good. Now, I didn't really focus on this area too much. My main focus was really against the back wall over there, so you guys can see some pretty big changes already. Over here you can see that I've got the beginnings of an actual working elevator, and I was really happy with how it turned out. Now this is going to be the final size and position of it, but I've obviously got to kind of touch up on the elevator itself, add some more detail and all of that. So here's a quick look at the elevator. I just try to put some grill plates right here on the floor to give it a little bit of detail, but for right now it's a pretty basic frame. This is kind of the tiling job that I put on the top, and I did that because I wanted it to kind of have a uniform feel throughout the whole mock with the gray and the burgundy, which is why I also did it on this building over here. And it is working, and I will show it to you guys right now. Now it's a little bit slow having to kind of wind it down manually. I might try and motorize it later on, but for now I think it's looking pretty good. I've made these little platforms that stick out right here and up top over here to connect to the elevator, and so far I'm really liking how it's turning out. I just put a kind of window thing right here just to add some light into the elevator, and I thought it would just be a cool structure to include. So the command center was another one of those areas that I didn't really work on too much, but I did touch up a few things here and there. And one of those main things is I decided to make this all open. Before I had a little ledge that ran across it, and I thought it would be better like this because it kind of gives the sense that the command center is not actually this big and it extends further out this way. Now I've made a very basic kind of mental layout for myself of how I want this to be positioned. I'm thinking of having a cool kind of holographic display table right here in the middle, and then all around I'm going to have some sort of computers and stuff like that all messed about. Now here is a little example of what I'm thinking for the kind of hollow screens, I guess you could call it, that's all around Star Wars. Now this admittedly isn't my own design, but I really like how they use this glass pane piece and these little lever things, and I think it just looks really cool. Now this isn't a final design, of course, but I just wanted to see how it would look if I kind of just throw it around here in the corners. And that's pretty much all I've done for the command center up here. I have done some progress on the outside, which you guys will see when I turn this thing around. Now down here on the floor, not much has happened except for the fact that I've added a few more tiles over in this area. I've done a little bit of a touch-up job on this building, and of course I have done the second floor up here, making these huge glass windows, and I think those look really cool. I tried adding a little bit of greebling over there in the corner. Nothing to really stand out too much, but you know, just adding some more detail rather than a blank wall right there. There's the door for that room down there, which I will explain. I have changed what that's going to be. Originally I decided it was going to be a medical bay, and now it's not going to be that. Up here is going to be the barracks, and we also have a supply room in the corner. I'll show that in a second. Here I have a little kind of futuristic-ish looking staircase that's leading up to the barracks, and of course we have a little kind of keypad outside the door. Now I'm building a little building out here, building a building. Yes, here's a little structure that I'm planning on building, and this is because I didn't really know what I wanted to put, so I thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool to add some more structure inside this, give it some more you know, stuff like that. I'm at a loss for words. But anyway, this is a small room that I've decided this is going to be the medical bay. Because the reason why I've decided is I don't really need this huge thing right here just for a medical bay. Instead, I'm going to have this small room right here. Instead of having like 5 beds, I'm just going to have kind of one dentist looking chair thingy and maybe a back to tank. And this is going to be the size of the medical bay, and I'm also thinking it's just going to be 1 floor. Now I've gone with this design right here, and I kind of like it. I'm going for this whole inset window piece just like that, but of course there is a little bit of a curve just to make it a little bit different, and I'm liking how that's turning out so far. Now because I said this is going to be the medical bay, down there what I've decided is actually to make more of a mess hall kind of thing, because it is a major part of all bases. So if I make kind of a kitchen slash mess hall down there, it will be a really good use for the space. Now upstairs, of course, I built this pretty much all modular, so I can take off this roof and show you guys the upstairs. Of course, none of this is final, but here is the beginnings of the barracks. I've got 4 beds right here, and as well as here, I've got kind of like a I guess you call it a dresser type thing, and I'm thinking right here this is kind of like maybe the folded up clone trooper uniforms, and I think that kind of catches the idea, or that could just be bed sheets. And then over there is going to be the supply room, and I think that did turn out quite nice. Now I can't really get the light very well, but you can see here we have some guns inset on the walls over there. We have some more over here, some in a crate right here, and then we have some more in the boxes in the corner. So you might also be wondering what this whole kind of system I've got going around here is, and what I have envisioned is that this is going to be kind of a cargo transport system, like a kind of railway in which cargo that they get off of the gunships and other vehicles, in order to transport them easily down to this lower level, instead of going by the elevators and doing a lot of, you know, man lifting, we can have sort of a cart system. This is from a Black Panther set, but I'll just use it as an example. We have a cart system, and then you would load it with boxes and ammo and stuff like that, and then they kind of push it down, and then we have it stop down there. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to include, and it would also be a good use for this space. Now the only area that I don't have a clear idea of what to do with at the moment is this area right here. Now I do have some ATRTs, both custom and the Lego models. I'm thinking I could have sort of like a place where they can basically stand there like that. But I was also thinking, what if I have sort of a mechanics little corner, not necessarily a building, but kind of just an area that kind of is outlined by a bunch of boxes and shelves and things like that. But that's kind of what I have envisioned for that area over there. This area at the moment still really big blank. I'm just thinking, you know, put a bunch of crates, boxes everywhere, machinery parts, but beyond that I'm not really sure what to do with this area. Of course, when we populate this whole thing with people, I'm pretty sure that it's going to look a lot more busier than it does at the moment, and a much less empty. But that is pretty much what I've got done on the inside of the base. You guys can see that I have extended the wall up at the front right there, and I think it's looking really cool. But right now I'm going to swap this whole thing around, and you guys will be able to see what it looks like from the front. So straight away you guys should be able to see that I was able to get a lot of progress done this week, especially concerning the terrain work down here. So giving a closer look to you guys, you can see what the terrain work is looking like at the moment. Now this is in a fairly rough state, but I was trying to pump out as much progress as I could this week so that you guys can start visualizing what the final product is going to be like. But I want to give a huge shout out right here to Adore Your Lego Studios. He has been a very big inspiration for the terrain work at the moment. If you haven't checked out his channel already, I seriously suggest you go and do so. He's building an awesome Sorgan mock at the moment from the Mandalorian TV show. But like I said, this is what the terrain is going to be looking like in the final design, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. Now, moving over here to the rock wall, this has also been a big focus of the exterior of the mock. Now, I had to rework this command center over here. I went through multiple versions of how the command center was going to look like, but this is really what I settled on. Now, you might think it does look a little bit simplistic, but I do really like how it turned out. I also tried to go with something else, making it stick out a little bit from the mountain work, and I think I was able to achieve that quite nicely. Now, before, like I said, the rock wall was at about this level, and I've been able to go from here all the way to the top and across. Now, the final height is probably going to be this height that you guys can see right now, but of course we're going to have to continue it all the way across there and then polish it off near the top. But so far, so good. I'm really liking how this is turning out. So guys, that will be it for week 4 of building Dantooine in LEGO. I have to say I am very pleased with the progress that we've been able to pump out so far, and also with the pace that we've been able to do it at. Now of course, with this whole coronavirus quarantine thing going on, I've been able to spend a lot more time at home and building, of course, so I'm hoping that we can keep up this pace in the weeks to come. Speaking of the weeks to come, I'm thinking we might be able to finish this mock in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. So probably we're going to have week 5 and then the finale, so I'm really pleased with that. Now in terms of what we're going to be doing in the upcoming weeks, we are hopefully going to be getting in the turbo tank sometime that next week, so we'll be able to kind of visualize how the interior is going to look and then start filling up around it. We're also going to do a lot more on the interior in terms of the command center as well as the hangar. But with that, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and with that, goodbye.